You see that this team claimed AJ Greer. What can you tell us about him, and what do you like about him?
Size is one thing. I think, the age of him, he's a younger player still, and he brings a little bit more grit to the game. Where last year in Boston, he was impactful, and he didn't play a ton in regards to the time on ice, but he had impact when he was on the ice. So we're looking for a guy again to help bring a little bit more energy to our group, a little bit more bite. And I saw him when he was a younger guy in the minors. He was a good young player, so we'll give him a great opportunity here.
Sixth in the league in penalty minutes last season, I think. So
Yeah.
clearly a guy who isn't afraid to mix it up a little bit.
No, he's competitive, and that's one of the things that we look for, and he fits that. So no, we're excited that we were able to get him.
Is there some versatility there, or is he just a left winger?
I think there's versatility. I don't know how much in the middle of the ice, but there is for both sides. But yeah.
We've asked a lot about the defensive zone coverage throughout preseason. I'm more curious about why you felt it was necessary to switch from a man-to-man coverage to zone.
I think the skill level of the players in the NHL now is one big thing. We gave up some grade A chances in prior years, and a lot of it has to do with the skill of the players. So if we can create a little bit more traffic inside in front of our goaltenders and make it harder to get inside on, then that's a good thing for us.
Do you remember when you came to that realization, that you needed to make that switch from man-to-man to zone? Like, do you remember that day or how that came to your mind?
No, I think you watch. You do a lot of watching around the league, and there's a lot of it now. So it's a copycat league. It really is. I mean, when you see a team do it a certain way and have success with it, you wonder if it will fit with your team as well.
How do you feel your players have been adjusting to that
They're
change?
getting there. I mean, there's still a lot of reads that they have to figure out in regards to how to make them. There's a lot of compete that comes along with it, that when you get something to be killed down low or shut down, you have to make sure you're ready to do that. So I think we're getting there for sure.
Ryan, I know it's still early and it's probably still evolving a little bit, but what would you like the identity of this team to be?
Well, I keep going back to the Winnipeg game at home here. There's a lot of work that's involved in it, and everybody uses identity. It's almost like I don't know. Yeah. I mean, we have to make sure that we're committed to playing the right way. That's the biggest thing. So there's a lot of work that's involved with it, and you need players to move their feet on the ice, not stand and watch. And that's something that's going to be important for us. And when we were in Vancouver, they did that to us. We turned over a lot of pucks, and we have to wrap our minds around playing a certain way without pucks, and that's moving your feet and being aggressive with your pressure.
What made Rasmus Anderson the best kind of addition to that leadership group?
Yeah, I think the one thing with Ras, he has kind of grown up within the organization, which I think is awesome. And he is really committed to being here and to being a Calgary Flame. And he's also one of our better players. When you look at what he does for our team on the ice, he plays in all situations. He is a voice in our dressing room without a doubt. And I think he's kind of grown into that role. So it's something that he's earned along the way too, for when you look way back, all the things that he's done to make himself a professional hockey player, and then climbing the ladder of responsibilities that he's had here with us.
Cole Schwint was close, but was ultimately reassigned. I mean, what's he got to do to take that or to break in?
All three of those young guys today, they were close, and they were some of the better surprises for us in camp. Cole, I think, has to really dig in on the face-offs are one thing. That's a certain part of his game where you try to picture where he may play down the road, and you want him to be really good in the face-off circle. And like most young guys, a little stronger, a little bit more competitive in the one-on-one battle area type things, and he's going to have an opportunity.
There's been moving pieces in this lineup, but the third line with Mangiapane, Coleman, and Backlund, we saw them skating together. Is the stability there important? Is it something you like?
Is what there? I'm sorry?
The stability of having those three.
Well, we've said before, like that line analytically in past years has been one of the better lines in the NHL, the way they play together. So there is some chemistry with that threesome. They like to play with each other, and we want them to get off to a great start. So we'll see how things go there. Yeah.
Jaeger's been moved around a bit.
Yeah.
You started the first line, third line. You have on a line with Kadri and Coronado today. Just wanted to know what your thinking was with putting it with those guys.
You're trying to find someone that fits with both. So one thing with Jaeger is he's a very I'll say defense first, or he's got that mindset in the offensive zone where if there is to be an F3, it's probably going to be him, and that frees up Naz and it frees up Matthew a little bit. So he can really skate. He can open some ice up for those guys, but he also thinks it a little bit more to the defensive side just by nature. Yeah.
There's been a lot of questions through camp about Adam. Now that you've had preseason camp, do you have a good feel as to where he fits best with your group right now?
I think he's a guy that we can move up and down the lineup right now. So we have to make sure we continue to challenge him daily to be at his very best. He's got potential to be a top 6 guy. He's got the ability to be a bottom 6 guy, if you want to call it that. So it's our job to find, it's our job to get the most out of him on a daily basis wherever he's slotted, because he has the ability to impact games. So we have to try to get the most out of him.
Ryan, we've asked you lots about Matt Coronado. Now that he's, I guess, achieved the goal of making the opening roster and being here today, what put him in this position that you need to kind of continue to see from him?
Yeah, the way he works. I mean, when you've watched him play these games so far, like he's got relentlessness to him. Where if he doesn't have the puck, he's going to do everything he can to get it back. And at the end of the day, when you have a skill set like he does, if you can combine that with his ability and willingness to work and skate and have impact away from the puck, then he's doing a lot of good things. That'll allow him to be in positions to shoot more. It'll allow him to be in positions to play a little bit more offensive hockey because of the way he's working away from the pucks.